An assumption of office, I look at the quantum of consumer abuses in the country, and I realize that waiting to resolve individual complaints will take forever. After brainstorming sessions and careful considerations of the acts and the provisions, I made investigation of market trends that are inimical to consumers to be part of my 4-year strategic plan. The idea is to focus on inimical trends in various sectors, interrogate and find lasting solutions to them. So far, we have deployed these measures in the food and beverage sector. The investigation of Coca-Cola and Aero contractors were carried out earlier on. Currently, we have the investigation going on DSTV, on FCNB Bank, electricity distribution companies, and the VIP Express are ongoing, and very shortly the recommendations coming out of this will address the challenges that consumers have faced in these various sectors. Let me just add that the powers of investigation allows the council to virtually strip down a business and get into the depths of their processing and find a reason why businesses shortchange consumers, which we would not have been able to if we were just on the face of it providing redress, replacement, or it helps us to dig into it, and we're able to find a lot more than why we actually went in at the first place.
Thank you, madam. Certainly, we cannot take all of the questions in a single episode. We'll roll over some of the questions to next week when we'll have you again on the program. But before we go, what is your message to the consumers this Yuletide season?
I would like to use this opportunity to assure Nigerian consumers that even as they celebrate the Yuletide season, the Council is awake to its duty of ensuring that their rights are not undermined. However, consumers should be awake to their individual responsibility of making sure that they travel safe, they buy only what they need, they pay attention to the buy and use dates, they collect receipts for their products, and complain when not satisfied with the product or service. And I would like to use this opportunity to wish all of you out there a happy Christmas.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dukwe Atoki, Director General CPC. It's been a delight having you here. We look forward to having you next week.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, you've heard it all. Don't go away. When we come back, we will take a look at some of the activities of the Council and the consumer segment of the week. Thank you.
Series of activities were embarked upon by the Consumer Protection Council to promote and enforce consumer rights in Nigeria in 2015. In spite of its very lean resources, the Consumer Protection Council set up and commissioned an audiovisual studio at its head office in Abuja. The studio, which represents the Council's commitment to aggressively educate consumers, is currently being used to produce its weekly television program, The Consumer Voice. With the studio set up with the support of Ford Foundation, the cost of producing the Council's television program is grossly reduced, saving on the lean resources of government. For the sustained functioning of the studio, select staff of the Council from its 6 zonal offices in Osogbo, Port Harcourt, Awka, Minna, Katsina, and Bauchi, and the Lagos and Abuja offices were trained by a consultant on camera handling, editing, and production of television programs. The offices were also armed with the necessary audiovisual equipment to aid nationwide coverage of consumer issues. CPC also commenced investigation into complaints of alleged consumer abuse by electricity distribution companies in Nigeria. These include, but not limited to, estimated billing for non-metered and consumers with post-payment meters, indiscriminate increase in electricity bills, non-supply of meters to consumers, irregular disconnection, non-supply of infrastructure requirements to some business units, thereby forcing consumers to pay for same without reimbursement, collection of fixed charge even when there is no power supply, and lack of proper consumer complaints redress mechanism. In a similar vein, the council beamed its searchlight on the hospitality industry as VIP Tourism Limited, which has affiliates in South Africa, was summoned to explain issues relating to complaints made by consumers. According to some of the complainants, VIP Express Tourism Limited allegedly reneged on the agreement to provide the desired holiday destinations to them upon completion of their subscription payments. Other allegations against the company included exertion of undue influence on their subscribers, making them to sign documents without proper perusal and understanding of the terms, as well as accompanying intending subscribers to homes to pick checks late at night, amongst others. The company's staff appeared before the council's investigating panel to present the position of their firm on the allegations levied against it by consumers. The banking sector was not left out, as the First City Monument Bank, FCMB, was at the council to answer questions regarding allegations by the Bauchi state government, accusing it of charging 1.86 billion naira excess interest on its account. The Bauchi state government complained to the council after the Central Bank of Nigeria declined further adjudication on the case, asking the state government to seek alternative means of redress. The bank made presentations refuting these allegations. MultiChoice, the franchise owners of DSTV, also had its days at the council. The pay TV team made several appearances at the council to answer questions regarding complaints of alleged violation of the rights of subscribers of its digital satellite television, popularly known as DSTV. CPC instituted investigations into DSTV activities following a barrage of consumer complaints alleging wide-range abuse of subscriber rights. These include poor quality of service, such as incessant disruption of service without compensation, wrongful disconnection of service during subsisting subscriptions, decoder swap irregularities, and poor redress mechanism. In its efforts to rid Nigerian markets of hazardous and unwholesome products, officials of the CPC carried out raids in different parts of the country, including Lagos, Awka, Abuja, Kano, and Kaduna. In the course of its raids, several unwholesome products worth millions of naira were confiscated. As part of its efforts to effectively protect Nigerian consumers, CPC reached understanding with different statutory bodies and trade associations in 2015, with a view to promoting and protecting consumers' interests in different sectors of the economy. The latest of this initiative happened in the last quarter of 2015 between CPC and organizations like the National Broadcasting Commission, the Federal Road Safety Commission, and the Poultry Association of Nigeria, pursuant to the continued efforts of the Council to provide a more robust and proactive consumer education drive. The Council, led by the Director General, Mrs. Dukpe Atoki, paid a courtesy call on the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, at the Presidential Villa. A productive and engaging discussion was held between the two legal professionals. It is expected that all these activities and many more will translate into enhanced welfare and better protection for Nigerian consumers in 2016.
Compliments of the season to all our viewers, and welcome to our feedback segment. 2015 has been an eventful year for the CPC with so many remarkable achievements, especially in resolving consumer complaints. So on this special edition, we will be looking at some of our outstanding feedback received from consumers via our social media platforms, phone and letters. I will start with social media. From Chickstar, CPC and PenUp Nigeria are two bodies that are doing a decent job of raising awareness, at least on Twitter. Ogunroti, I have 100% record with you. You always resolve my issues right from 2011. You are giving consumers hope for justice. Thank you. On Facebook, Justus Loho wrote,